what you did. You killed our mom. You threw your kids, you big fat jerk. You're a big fat jerk. Do you know?
Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe the quality is not bad, but not a fucking teardrop fail. Yeah, ain't no way I can do some shit like that and hear my kid call me a big fat jerk over and over and not cry, dog. What a fucking character. I already read the description, so I already know what we're dealing with. But hey, I gotta do an intro, right? So let's do this shit again. The arrogant evil that took Jacque Waller. First of all, rest in peace. This is some bullshit. What's going on? My bad if I said your name wrong. Hopefully I said it right. Jacque Waller thought she was finally free of Clay Waller, her deadbeat, unlikable ass husband. That was not to be the case. When she disappeared after meeting him, all eyes turned to Clay Waller. But nobody would be found, and he would be free, until his arrogance led to his own downfall. Later on, when he tried to write a book, he doubled down. What the? So then I went to the thumbnail. You know me, how I gotta do it, man. I was like, this is shit. This is shit. It is shit. I meant to say sick, though. This is sick, dog. If you take my kids, I'll kill you. A novel. Oh, sound like some shit I probably would fucking read it. Not from him. Now look, at this point, I'm just speaking on this type of person in general. Sound like, oh, we got a very arrogant person here. We hear what this is. So we're about to hear words like narcissistic. We're about to hear words like manipulator. We're about to hear words like entitled, self-centered. Look, we're gonna talk a little bit of ish, then we're gonna start the video. You can fast forward if you want. I ain't tripping. Don't do that, dog. Don't mess with my retention, dog. All right, for that person, this battle is not about what that person say. Oh, believe me, it is not. It's about them winning 100%. I kid you not. That's all they care about. Is how am I going to win this battle? How am I going to show my superiority and show like, yo, I run this shit. Like, what if I say go and that's the way we're gonna do it? If you stop and look at it, those kids are going to fucking lose. If one parent take away the other parent, that kid lost. Now let's say if you get caught doing what you did, then guess what? Them kids hella lost, because now they have no fucking parents. Now you destroy families as well. And then someone's gonna have to raise them. More than likely, both parents, the grandparents, why did I take the long route? Both grandparents, both sides, more than likely they're probably too old to raise another kid. Sure, they probably could. They're going to try. They're at the age they're done. They already did that. That life is not in them no more, especially to go through that stress, bringing up another teenager again. That's even if they still here at that age, dog. So now more than likely these kids will probably end up foster kids. But hey, we're about to go check out this case. My bad. Look, you want to check out the original video? Link will be in the description below. But let's go.
Hey you, and welcome. My name is Mike, and in this old video, I gotta ask, do you guys ever get sick of me, like, saying the same intro in every video?
No.
I enjoy it. This story takes us to the mystical, exotic land of Missouri. Go ahead, pinch yourself, it's real. But hey, wipe your brow, right, with relief, because we're not staying there. We're going from there to this island with the awesome name of Devil's Island.
Oh, yeah.
And we're gonna meet a family called the Wallers. And they had built up some walls. Those walls would be broken down, though, in like a kind of, you know, here's Johnny kind of way.
Oh shit.
So let's give it a go. Cape Girardeau is the place. Whoa. It's a city in Missouri hosting about 40,000 fine folk. That's it. That's all I got.
I've never heard of this place.
Fine. It's in southeast Missouri, just across the Mississippi from Illinois, and by all accounts is a bustling and booming little city that ain't so little anymore. It's a college town, home of Southeast Missouri State, and that brings with it mostly benefits. Food, history, culture is thriving, lots of outdoor activities, but also a higher crime rate than you might enjoy. But I'm not doing a tourism advert for Cape Girardeau. They seem to be doing a good enough job of that themselves. I'm here to tell you a story.
Boy.
Scale. Agus caught an scale.
Well, that shit was creepy. It was going all on dog face. Scared the shit out of me.
I'm here to tell you a story. A scale. Agus caught an scale. Well, that begins in June 2011. Jackie Sue Rawson Waller had been married to a man named Clay Waller for about a decade and a half in 2011.
Damn.
But that's as long as they would make it. After a marriage and 3 children, triplets actually, Avery, Maddox and Addison, they were calling it a day. Dunzo! Boop! Stick a fork in it. It was the 1st of June 2011 that Clay and Jackie, they were actually about to sort of kind of start finalizing. They were meeting with an attorney together to get all the papers done and dusted.
Marriage. Oh gosh, that's the part that fucking scares me. A decade and a half, 15 years. Damn, that's a long time, man. And funny part is, depending on the situation, it cannot be a long time. But for marriage, I feel like, I'm just being honest, I feel like that's a long time.
With an attorney together to get all the papers done and dusted. And they hung out for a little bit, had lunch, split, and were gonna meet at 3 p.m. outside the Cape Girardeau County Attorney's office. Jackie was 39 years old, and they had been separated. It had been going slowly and steadily, Jackie cut into shreds, until now it was time to get it over and done with. At the time, Jackie and the kids were staying with Jackie's sister, Cheryl, in St. Genevieve, about an hour up the road. Growing up, Jackie and Cheryl, they weren't too close, but now they were best buds. It seems the, turbulent marriage to Clay, it had built up a wall between Jackie and Clay, but it had torn down the wall between Cheryl and Jackie. Clay was living in a house in Jackson just outside the Cape. The marriage between Jackie and Clay...
Scary thing with that, though, I ain't gonna get too much into it, though, because it's my family business, dog. But I've seen that shit happen with my own mom and my stepdad. Like, legit, that wall was built in front of her and the rest of the family, dog. And not even the kids, like, cause I ain't gonna lie, like, me and my siblings, we still could stay connected with all our family. And I used to be around and hearing shit, like, people talk about shit like, so my mom name, whatever, like, why she think she too good, I say blah and all this, blah, blah. But like, no, that ain't the case, dog. Legit, I never understood people who get like really to the point where it's like that controlling, where it's like, yo, I need you to cut them off because it's all about me. That's love. Like, what the fuck? Shit gets scary, dog. Whole time, if you make the whole family love you, then you really win. So now when you do your bullshit, they be like, oh, well, I don't know, he said he was good. You showed Charlie did that, I think. No, stop putting. Then again, though, seriously thinking about it, maybe that is a tactic. That I don't know if this has some kind of name to it or not, but maybe that is a good tactic. Because the way I looked at it, how everyone like pushed my mom away, like when shit started going bad, maybe that's why they had you build that wall. So when shit do go wrong, well, shit, I already made you burn that bridge. So you only fucking got me. That probably is how the shit worked. My bad, I wasn't getting excited. I was getting excited because I was like, oh, I put it together. It clicked in my head. I don't know, but marriage just feels really fucking entitled to me from both ends. I'm sorry.
Jackie and Cheryl, they weren't too close, but now they were best buds. It seems the, turbulent marriage to Clay, it had built up a wall between Jackie and Clay, but it had torn down the wall between Cheryl and Jackie. Clay was living in a house in Jackson just outside the Cape. The marriage between Jackie and Clay was never viewed fondly, though, by the Rawson family. They were not too keen. They thought he was a douchebag, to be honest. Just didn't like each other. They had nothing in common. They started off on the wrong foot, and they never got on the right one. They had a lot of reasons for disliking Clay. You'll see a few. He was always viewed as just a weird guy, unlikable, awkward, and he had a speech impediment. So to Jackie's family, they thought Jackie felt sorry for him. That's why they were together. She wanted to look after him. Ah, the old mommy girlfriend. That won't get toxic at all. Clay had moved about from jobbo to jobbo, even being a county deputy for a while, but more or less he was a constant deadbeat. Jackie, though, she had a good job and was making money at an insurance company. Clay, he wouldn't work on batteries and was allergic to being useful in any way. Either helping pay the bills or
allergic to being useful in any way. I think he's about to really say like some allergies or some shit. Hold up. What the fuck? So you want to get a job? I'm allergic to that shit. Oh, okay. You want to pay a bill? I'm allergic to that shit. You want some pussy? Damn, I'm gonna sound like a simp here, and I can't do that. I've been watching Fresh and Fit, but you deserve no meow if you living like that, dog. I ain't gonna lie to you, big homie. I'm not gonna lie, though. It doesn't seem like she looked at the whole mommy-son relationship thing going on, whatever. It seemed like maybe, I don't know, she really hit it off with this guy on the wrong foot. End up getting pregnant. And then I was like, all right, let's just try to make this right and get married. Which is still a red flag, but which is still a no-go, I should say.
Clay had moved about from jobbo to jobbo, even being a county deputy for a while, but more or less he was a constant deadbeat. Jackie, though, she had a good job and was making money at an insurance company. Clay, he wouldn't work on batteries, and was allergic to being useful in any way, either helping pay the bills, or being a loving and supporting parent and husband. Jackie knew the divorce was on its way, as did Cheryl, her sister, who she told all this to. Clay, he had gone from, distant and just not there to up close and personal to Jackie in kind of a kapow kind of way. Besides the fact as well that he did sweet fuck all, time to cut the dead weight loose. A blessing was a few months before, after Clay lost yet another job, they lost the house. So it gave Jackie an excuse to separate from Clay. Paper swiftly followed. So that day is June 1. They met up outside, and about an hour...
I ain't gonna lie though, I'm gonna let it finish though. I mean, if you knew you was feeling that way, I'd have dipped out before this all went sour, because that's legit kicking, from what we're getting now, that's legit kicking someone when they're down, dude. Because so you're gonna wait till I lose a job and we lose house. This is the point when the marriage really needs to show its strength, because we both got to rebuild the shit back up. Again, though, don't know how shit was going, and like you said, though, they shit was not going. Marriage was not going good from the get go, regardless. Which I hear that, but like I'm saying though, if you know you're gonna get gone, don't do that once one down, because if they already have nothing to lose, and when we go to court, I have nothing to prove to show, like I can take care of these kids, so automatic is going to you regardless. So now it's like, all right, so now when I'm down really at my lowest, sound like you've been there before though, but now that I'm down really at my lowest, now it's gonna like, all right, let's get this fight going. Like, oh, okay, that shit can get scary, dog. I mean, but maybe that could have just been the candle. What is it? The candle. The straw that broke the camel back, nigga. Boy, let me put this shit out. All right, there we go.
To Jackie in kind of a kapow kind of way. Besides the fact as well that he did sweet fuck all, time to cut the dead weight loose. A blessing was a few months before, after Clay lost yet another job, they lost the house. So it gave Jackie an excuse to separate from Clay. Paper swiftly followed. So that day is June 1. They met up outside, and about an hour later, Jackie called her sister, Cheryl, to let her know the meeting with Clay and the attorney, it went smoothly, and she was going to his house to pick up their son, who had been staying there, and then she'd be straight back to St. Genevieve. But of course, Jackie never arrived back to St. Genevieve that night. She never responded to text messages, she never responded to calls. Neither did Clay. That was until Cheryl, who was worried out of her wits' end, waiting for her sister to come home, basically gave him the old text and said, hey, listen, if I don't hear from Jackie in the next couple of minutes, I'm gonna call the police, Clay, and I'm gonna tell them you did something to my sister. At which point Clay immediately rang. What? She never came home and you haven't heard from her or seen her since? That's big weird. I'm sure she's fine though. She's fine, her. She was at least alive when I last seen her when she left my house, so I'm sure she'll turn up at some stage. Alright, thanks for calling. Don't call the police, so okay, bye. Jackie was reported missing that night at about 11:45 p.m. Immediately, Cheryl said Clay had done something. The very next day, Clay was served with a search warrant for his home and his vehicle. He said they were at his place and they were to make love one last time while they had the house to themselves. Their son Maddox was with Clay's new girlfriend in Illinois. However, they got into an argument and she took off walking, and that was the last time he saw of her. He had popped out at once.
Wait. Let me hear that one more time. I'm gonna edit it out.
Something. The very next day, Clay was served with a search warrant for his home and his vehicle. He said they were at his place and they were to make love one last time while they had the house to themselves. Their son Maddox was with Clay's new girlfriend in Illinois. However, they got into an argument and she took off walking, and that was the last time he saw of her. He had popped out at one stage to have a goo, and when he returned, her car was gone. Now, funnily enough, her car had already been found. It had been found that morning, June the 2nd, abandoned off the interstate. The tires had been slashed, and not just like a puncture, as in the tire had been stabbed while the car was stationary. It was staged.
Dozens of officers are now working this case. The Cape Girardeau Bollinger County Major Case Squad is investigating several leads. No one believes that this mother of three would just walk away from her children.
Very uncharacteristic for her. Again, she had 3 children. We have no reason to believe she would have any reason to walk away from them. So we definitely want to find out where she is or what's happened to her.
39-year-old Jacque Waller, formerly of Cape
I know about
Girardeau.
this case. Is she the one? I think I could be wrong. I'm gonna
Walk away from them. So we definitely want to find out where she is or what's happened to her.
39-year-old Jacque Waller, formerly of Cape Girardeau, was last seen here on Woodland Drive in North Neal in Jackson. Her car found abandoned here on I-55 northbound near the Fruitland exit on Wednesday afternoon. Police hope you'll take a good look at her vehicle, this blue Honda Pilot, and let officers know if you saw it recently. Authorities on Friday searched this property here off Woodland Drive. Dive teams with the Missouri Highway Patrol searched 2 ponds. According to police, Jacque Waller's estranged husband lived somewhere on this property.
So after that car, as I said, it was shortly after that, they got a search warrant for Clay's home. And they found blood in Clay's car. And like not a negligible amount.
What the
But
fuck? Like he legit did not clean that up? And this is what I was talking about earlier. Never understand it. Like legit just handicapped the hell out of those kids' life. Legit just done that. All because just had to win the battle. That was it. Damn.
warrant for Clay's home. And they found blood in Clay's car. And like not a negligible amount. But it was fish blood. It turned out, if you can believe that. Yeah, just your like regular fish you fucking butcher like a serial killer. But they did also find some blood, some specks of blood in his hallway. And there was something fishy about that, even if there wasn't anything fishy about that at all. I kinda hate that I just said that. The carpet had also been cut up. And when the police looked in the basement, they could tell the dirt around the crawl space had been disturbed. So they went in after, and what they found was, well, the carpet. And more blood was on the carpet.
Damn, I bet that ain't
But they
fish
didn't
blood.
have a body, and they had no idea where Jacque Waller had actually, at this point, been taken. And Clay, when he was asked about, hey, there's like a shitload of blood, and
you know where this coming
your
from,
soon-to-be
dog?
ex-wife is missing. Any idea about this at all? Rack your brains, you know, give it a good old think. And he said, yeah, I know exactly what happened. She had a nosebleed. She fucking bled all over my carpet. I couldn't leave it there. You know, I couldn't clean the carpet. I had to put it up. You know, and then what am I gonna do? Throw it in the...
So you fucking hide it in the wall? Oh shit! From a
I
nosebleed.
couldn't leave it there. You know, I couldn't clean the carpet. I had to cut it up. You know, and then what am I gonna do? Throw it in the trash?
No, you just clean it.
No. I'm gonna hide it. Obviously. What else would you do with the carpet that had stains on it? You'd hide it. This once again will demonstrate that Clay Waller just thought he was smarter than everyone else, including you and everyone you know, while also simultaneously proving that Clay Waller was an absolute dumb shit.
New clues in the disappearance of a mother of triplets in Missouri.
Oh, I was gonna talk about that next. You know what's crazy, dog? So many people like that who legit are. I mean, like, I'm talking about super arrogant. Luckily, look, I don't mean people. Look, I know I'm cocky, but I know where to cap my shit off. That's why I tell you I got a mirror. It ain't just for looking at me. I love legit reflecting. Like, hold up. Let's see what bullshit we doing, how we move it, whatever. Either way it go though. There's this one kid I used to go to school with. When I say arrogance times 1,000, but was never fucking right about nothing. This shit is so creepy. It's so creepy to me how you have people who just do things that's like the norm to them, and it's like that. Like, yo, you do not see how dangerous this is. Perfect example. People who are just like legit, just pathological, just off the wall, just liars, just no reason. Just do it. And it's like so obvious, like, yo, this is the biggest fucking lie I've ever heard in my life. But for them, it's a real story. Either way it go though. It's just like, I don't know. As I be examining people, you know, you just like, not like legit like studying them, but I do. Yeah, shit, I'm a fucking human. I don't know what I'm around. As you look at people around you, when you grow up, you see people, you're like, yo, this is kind of crazy. Like, I don't know. But don't be scared to look at yourself and see what the fuck wrong with yourself, dog. And I'm not gonna lie, keep it 100. Sometimes we need to be told, like, we're that person or we're this type of person, because to us, we may be living normal. Like, yo, this is normal. This is how I live. This is me. This cool. Not even knowing, like, yo, but that one trait you got, that one a little toxic. I know I probably got one. I know I do. I don't know my shit. No, I'm playing. I ain't gonna lie though, ever since I started studying like self-discipline and shit, which is actually pretty amazing, you gotta reflect. Back to the story though.
Also simultaneously proving that Clay Waller was an absolute dumb shit.
New clues in the disappearance of a mother of triplets in Missouri. Investigators said Wednesday that Jacque Waller's personal business cards were found on a stretch of road just 10 miles from where her car was recovered 43 days ago.
Her husband has been named a person of interest in her disappearance. Police do suspect foul play, but at this point they tell us they do not have enough evidence to establish that a crime was committed.
Damn, I mean,
The
really?
day Jacque had gone missing, she had met Clay at a drugstore. She went to an ATM and then to the divorce attorney and to Clay's. And then she disappeared. But Clay was seen again that day. Later on, he was seen cleaning his small boat.
Okay, wow.
Pretty thoroughly. And he could have gone anywhere up or down the Mississippi. The search for Jacque became big news. But it was going nowhere fast. Searches across the county and beyond, they didn't find anything. Searches where Clay would drive by, flippin' the bird. Way to keep your head down, idiot. Fast. Searches across the county and beyond, they didn't find anything. Searches where Clay would drive by, flippin' the bird.
So he will. Oh my God! Wait. He would legit ride past while people were searching, looking for her body, dog, and flick him off. Oh shit!
They didn't find anything. Searches where Clay would drive
For
by,
real,
flippin' the
dog?
bird. Way to keep your head down, idiot. Yeah, he would often beep the horn as he drove past search parties looking for Jacque. Effing this and effing that.
Might be willing
It's like you
to
just
say if
want the attention. Is what? It's legit like he just want the attention. Like I want this attention. Like it sounds like so far somebody's getting away with this ish, but it's like nah. I need you to understand my fucking arrogance.
Looking for Jacque. Effing this and effing that.
might be willing to say a few words today.
Well, I'll say it after the thing.
Okay.
I'll say it after the thing.
Is there anything you'd like to say beforehand? Anything to the community or?
I just miss my wife and my kids, and we're just trying to fight to see them.
Do you think you'll get that?
Well, I hope so. I mean, it's been a hard time for us all. So we're just gonna keep hoping for the best. Well, I can't change how people feel. I mean, there's a lot of emotions that are running high right now. I just don't know what to say yet. I'm not sure, to be honest with you. We're all just sad. It's just sad on both sides of the fence here.
And still want to let people know that you didn't have anything to do with what's going on here, and you want what everyone else wants. You want to find your wife.
Sure, yeah. We want her to come home alive.
And I'm not gonna lie, usually when it comes to this part, people tend to, may think I'm playing the bad guy here, but I'm not. If I really hated this person and we were really fighting for our kids and we were really going through something, and let's say if something did actually happen to that person, and 100%, like I didn't do it, I'm not gonna say like I'm sad, like I want to help solve the shit, because it's like, yo, unfortunately, I'm not saying for their situation, because I strongly don't believe that's their situation. I'm just saying for when we get to these points in these type of cases, where it's like, all right, people get to blaming them just because they're not sad and they're not crying and shit. Like, no, some people, if they really hated someone and something really happened, they're not going to cry. They don't care. So I'm trying to not judge him off of his speech impediment and that particular reason as well. Once they said they found the blood and that was freaking buried in the wall, and I feel like the fish blood was added in the car for like a setup, as like a throw off. At that point, I was like, hell no, bullshit.
Sure, yeah. We want her to come home alive.
No, I know you don't.
During the investigation, the police seized Jackie's her work computer, and on it, they found a diary. She'd been recording the threats of violence Clay had been issuing towards her.
Damn.
6 months earlier, she had written, "I told him I was going to file for divorce. He said he had a feeling that one of us would not be around to watch our kids grow up. Clay told me I did not deserve to live. He told me that a divorce would be my death sentence. Clay told me that if he couldn't get me, he would kill our kids. He would take them for a weekend fishing trip, and then he would personally tell me they drowned so he could see my face." The police had even placed a tracker on Clay's car in hopes that he might, maybe try and return to the scene.
The whole time, it's just like, damn, I want her to leave at that moment. But then again, I've seen from personal experience, there's no just up and leave. There's no redo this, like how I put together earlier with that fucking wall they make them build. Family ain't there to help you no more because that's what that person wanted, dog. And it just seems like it'll feel good to kick that person while they're down. It really does. Like, oh yeah, because you've been poisoning my life for the longest. Like, oh, I just felt good. But nah, because that person responded a little fucking extreme. It's a pretty arrogant person, and that's what they do, exaggerate shit like that.
Take them for a weekend fishing trip, and then he would personally tell me they drowned so he could see my face.
Joy out of it.
The police had even placed a tracker on Clay's car in hopes that he might, maybe try and return to the scene, maybe move the body, hopefully they could find out where she had been dumped. It was soon determined that Clay knew a tracker had been placed. Or at least he knew he was being followed because he wouldn't go anywhere of note. In fact, he would drive to vacant areas.
I knew it because, I was like, he gonna love that shit.
Followed because he wouldn't go anywhere of note. In fact, he would drive to vacant areas and just sit there for some time. The police would follow and begin a search of that area.
Nope.
And Clay would be laughing his hole off. He was just winding them up. But shit hit the fan in September 2011 when Clay was charged. Yeah. And Clay would be laughing his hole off. He was just winding them up. But shit hit the fan in September 2011 when Clay was charged with making online threats against Cheryl, Jackie's sister. Cheryl was desperate to find her sister, but in the meantime, she had been given custody of the triplets. And it seems Clay was not too fond of that, even though he had threatened to murder his own kids just to see the expression.
Man, because it's not for the safety of these kids, dog. This is bullshit.
Of that, even though he had threatened to murder his own kids just to see the expression on their mother's face. Dad of the year over here. You are dead. I promise if those kids get hurt, I will get you. 5, 10, 25 years from now, you'll have it coming. No mother's face. Dad of the year over here. You are dead. I promise if those kids get hurt, I will get you. 5, 10, 25 years from now, you'll have it coming. No one hurts those kids but me! He pled guilty and got 5 years for that one. But the entire time he said he didn't know anything. He pleaded not guilty, he said he didn't kill Jackie, but he would happily point the finger at whomever entered his little brain that day.
And jacked around, and if you guys know so much, figure it out. I don't know what to tell you. I had nothing to do with nothing.
Clay was the architect of his own downfall in the end, you'll be happy to hear. Him winding up the police and winding up the general public because he was hated. He would claim there was a witch hunt going on. The guy who was flipping the bird at people trying to find his missing wife. Yeah, real witch hunt. I don't know how he thought it would end, but I think he was so arrogant he didn't think it would end at all.
Heartland News at 5 on KFBS 12.
Good afternoon, everyone. Kathy is on assignment. We are following a lot of stories at 5, including the latest on Clay Waller and the search for Jacque Waller's body. Waller now charged with first-degree murder in connection with the disappearance of his estranged wife, Jackie.
2 years after Jackie's disappearance, Clay was charged with first-degree murder. Now, they had no
disappearance of his estranged wife, Jackie.
2 years after Jackie's disappearance, Clay was charged with first-degree murder. Now, they had no body. In fact, they didn't really have much more evidence than they did 2 years before. They had the carpet, the blood, the threats, him cleaning his boat. It was all circumstantial, but circumstantial enough to get a conviction? Well, Clay thought so. He thought so much, in fact, that when Clay Waller was offered a deal, the deal being, Clay, tell the police, tell the authorities where you buried Jacque Waller. They'll reduce your sentence to second-degree murder, and they promise, you'll get no more than 20 years. Clay said, I will, yeah.
Damn.
About 5 miles upstream of Cape Girardeau lies Devil's Island, where he had taken Jackie's body after her death. See, Clay said Jacque had come over to have a little sex one last time, and they ended up getting into a fight, and he lost it. He lost control, and well, he killed her. She goaded him into killing him. It was her fault, really. That's his words.
Damn.
But Jacque had told her sister she was going to Clay's house to collect her son. Her son...
My bad, I had to get some water. I ain't gonna lie though. Now though, I do understand why her family felt like this was like a pity relationship. Like, I just feel like this was there for the... It was some sympathy given here. I do understand that now. Why they felt that way, I should say.
Control, and well, he killed her. She goaded him into killing him. It was her fault, really. That's his words. But Jacque had told her sister she was going to Clay's house to collect her son. Her son wasn't at the house, but Jacque didn't know that. Clay had lied to Jacque. Well, their son was actually in Illinois. Clay just wanted to get Jacque alone, and he needed an excuse to get her.
Damn.
When Clay and the police arrived on Devil's Island, it took them 5 days to find Jacque. Clay claimed to have forgotten where he had buried her, but there was one single tree on the island that was dead. And Clay said he had covered Jackie's body with fertilizer, a fertilizer which would have killed the roots of this tree. Jacque had multiple fractures to her skull. She had been beaten with a blunt force object, no doubt. Another crack in Clay's story of just losing it.
For the record, the court calls the case of State of Missouri versus James Clay Waller II. Case number 12-CG-CR00686-01. Do you understand what you're charged with? Do you intend to plead guilty to this amended charge?
Yes, I do.
Do you understand that you don't have to plead guilty? You have a right to a trial if you want one.
Right.
Has anybody promised you anything other than a guilty plea to get you to, than the plea agreement to get you to plead guilty?
No.
Has anybody threatened you or threatened anyone you care about to get you to plead guilty?
No.
Has anybody told you that anything to do with this case is a secret and you're not supposed to talk to me?
No.
What is the plea agreement in this case, Ms. Woodruff?
Judge, there is an agreement in this case. The state agreed to amend this charge to murder in the second degree and recommend a sentence of 20 years to serve and dismiss counts 2 and 3. And in return, Mr. Waller had to provide the location of Jacque Waller's body.
Damn.
Law enforcement had to be capable of recovering her body, and then Mr. Waller had to sit down and give an accounting of how he killed Jacque Waller. Mr. Waller has satisfied all 3 of those conditions.
Mr. Waller, the state has alleged that on or about June 1st of 2011 in Cape Girardeau County, Missouri, you committed the Class A felony of murder in the second degree, in that you knowingly caused the death of Jacque Sue Waller by repeatedly striking her about the head and face and by pressing your forearm against her neck with all the weight of your body, thereby suffocating her, resulting in her
Oh
death.
yeah, that sounds very fucking personal. I mean, the only thing was missing was a damn, you know what, IF. Good gosh, man. This shit is crazy to me, dog. Dog, the fact that it was just like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna use this lie. Put the kid in the lie as well. Not involve the kid, but put the kid in the lie is what I'm saying. Just to lure mom up here so I can go ahead and get rid of her. That way, those kids will not have a mom, and then when this shit go down, they won't have a dad neither. Winner.
Mr. Waller, the state has alleged that on or about June 1st of 2011 in Cape Girardeau County, Missouri, you committed the Class A felony of murder in the second degree, in that you knowingly caused the death of Jacque Sue Waller by repeatedly striking her about the head and face and by pressing your forearm against her neck with all the weight of your body, thereby suffocating her, resulting in her death. What did you do that makes you guilty of that offense?
I did that.
Okay.
You, Dad. This is Maddox. This son of you. You betrayed. You see what you did? You killed our mom. You betrayed your kids, you big fat jerk. You're a big fat jerk. Do you know that? You should have killed our mom. All you have to know is I'm Cheryl's Uncle Bob. And they take very good care of us like you didn't.
Damn, man.
I thought you were a good guy. Now I know you're not. You big fat jerk, you. Hear this. I wish you were never my dad. You're just a big fat jerk. Do you know that? You big fat jerk. Don't you know, Q? If you can see Joe forever, Penny Fry, you big.
Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe the quality is not bad, but not a fucking Teardrop Fail. Yeah, ain't no way I could do some shit like that and hear my kid call me a big fat jerk over and over and not cry, dog. Even as a man, be up there crying like a motherfucker, like, dog.
Big fat jerk, you. Hear this. I wish you were never my dad. You're just a big fat jerk. Do you know that? You big fat jerk. Don't you know, Q? If you can see Joe forever, Penny Fry, you big fat jerk.
What he's, hold up.
Don't you know, Q? If you can see Joe forever, Penny Fry, you big fat jerk.
Hold up, let me see one more time. Hold up. What everybody be saying these days, it's the big fat jerk for me. Shit. Boy, I got there getting old.
Don't you know, Q? If you can see Joe forever, Penny Fry, you big fat jerk.
If you can see jail forever, pigs fly. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Don't you know, Q? If you can see Joe forever, Penny Fry, you big fat jerk. I never want to see you again for my entire life. Not even on a picture. Not even on the TV. Not even when I'm fly, you big fat jerk. I never want to see you again for my entire life. Not even on a picture. Not even on the TV. Not even when I'm an adult. I never want to see you again. You understand?
Man.
Now, Clay is obviously being an arrogant bastard this entire time. He's a real piece of work. If by work you mean shit, and I do. That spring in 2013, Clay was thinking to himself, holy moly, I got it made, I'm home free.
You need to be apologetic and remorseful. I'm not. I'm gonna stand up in court tomorrow and tell everybody and stuff. Why should I care what they're going through if they don't care what I'm going through? You understand?
Damn.
No, I don't. You're not the victim, you're one.
I was just a boy. Legit still playing the victim, though. Like, can't nobody see my problems, but they want me to see their problems. Like, you're causing the problems.
What I'm going through. You understand? No, I don't. You're not the victim, you're one. It happened 2 years ago. I just want to move on. I'm sorry. I'm going to jail. That's it. When I walk out them doors.
That's the problem. You can move on. They can't. Those 3 kids lost a mom. Those grandparents lost a daughter. That sister lost a sister, dog. They would love to move on. I'm sure they would love to. Sure they would love to, man.
No, I don't. You're not the victim, you're one. It happened 2 years ago. I just want to move on. I'm sorry. I'm going to jail. That's it. When I walk out them doors. They can't do that more times. I mean, I don't think they can they?
They can.
20 years! What a dealio! Be a fool not to take that for murdering my wife. And it drew outrage too, like people were fuming that that's all he got for what he did. But arrogance knows no bounds, because while awaiting sentencing, he thought he would like to tell his side of the story. In jail, Clay made friends with another inmate in his cell block, a guy named Cedric Dean. Cedric was a career criminal, but he loved writing. And so Clay approached Cedric and he said to him, listen, I've got a book deal coming my way from a New York City publishing house. That book deal will be worth $400,000, right? And I'll give you $10,000 if you ghostwrite it for me. So you do all the work, write the whole thing, and I'll give you 400,000 versus 10,000. You know, if you're great, I'll give you a whole 2.5% of the profits. Whoop-de-doo. The book, Clay had even thought of a name. The title, If You Take My Kids, I'll Kill You.
Good God.
The Confession of Missouri's Most Notorious Wife Killer. Well, it's to the point. No mucking about, I'll give it that. It'll fly off the shelves. Clay said it would be a tell-all book, and it would help.
Not gonna lie, yes, it will. And I ain't gonna lie, I don't blame Cedric at all, because he don't know what the hell these people, he ain't got, look, you can't be a businessman or woman and attach your feelings to people's shit. Like, yo, I'm just here to do my business, dog. Now, don't get me wrong, if it was hiding some shit, like, all right, yeah, I'm gonna help you hide some shit, that's a different story. But I mean, like, look, what are you doing is legal. Like, you wanna tell your story? Shit, I'm just in the business for people who do that shit, and we just happen to meet. Go ahead and cut my check right there, nigga. Shit. Believe me, because I found out when my mama died and the world did not stop. That bitch kept going. Shit. Life is a mother.
I'll give it that. It'll fly off the shelves. Clay said it would be a tell-all book, and it would help set up a trust fund for his kids. Now, Cedric quickly figured out that that was not going to be the case at all. This would not be a tell-all book. You know, no holds barred, pure honesty that Clay made it sound like. No, as he was writing the book, and, you know, Clay was more or less dictating it to him, pretty much every chapter in the book ended with, like Alan Partridge, you know?
Needless to say, I had the last laugh.
It is a book that's full of joy, but it's chiefly joy at other people's misfortune.
They all ended, like, pretty much like that year. Clay Waller is a winner. He told the story like he was taunting Jackie's family. Like he enjoyed the murder and was being exploitative with the details of it. After 6 weeks, the book was written, 300 pages, and Clay smuggled the manuscript out. Clay also stiffed Cedric out of the 10,000 books he had promised him for writing it. Clay told the prison guards Cedric was trying to extort him, and so Cedric was put into solitary. In the meantime, prosecutors were already looking to charge Clay with more than the second-degree murder charge. And after interviewing inmates, doing more interviews with Clay, and they learned of the book. The police spoke to Cedric and again found out more details that Clay had kept hidden that only the killer would know. Clues like how he had dug the hole for Jacque Waller's body the day before, how he had been sleeping the night before in Illinois. He crossed interstate lines, which basically, that makes it a lot more serious when you cross state lines. And speaking with Cedric, Cedric told the police, you know, after spending so much time with him on this book, he felt 100% sure that Clay would, in fact, kill again. Clay Waller got an additional charge, interstate domestic violence. That would give him another 35 years, which he would only be able to serve after he did the 20 for murder. So that is 55 years altogether. See you later, Slick.
What the fuck?
And so ends the story. A story of...
Now, I'm not gonna lie. That one I thought was gonna get to a point where it was gonna be like, all right, he learned his lesson. He understands it now. Like, yo, it's a bigger picture here. Nah, it seemed like it's just still going and going and going. It's like, yo, I do not care. And like he said, like, there's nothing else they can do to me. I'm good.
See you later, Slick. And so ends this story. A story of just supreme arrogance leading to one murder and the downfall of the murderer. Well deserved. Clay truly was asking for it in every possible way. He thought he was hot shit when he was just shit. And he thought he'd be a celebrity book writer, out after 20, telling his no-holds-barred story, when in fact he just wanted to laugh at the family whose life he had just ruined, and he was too lazy to even write the friggin' thing. Cedric was later rewarded for telling the police everything, and he was let out. And Clay will be behind bars for the next 50-odd years, and more than likely, forever after. Like his ghost, I mean, though instead of doing the haunting, I hope he is haunted for eternity. thank you for watching. I really do appreciate you taking the time to do so, being here with me, watching the story of Clay Waller, who's the biggest friggin' asshole I've covered in a while. To end, please subscribe if you would like to see a new true crime video every Tuesday and Friday. I've been doing this for a few years. You'd think I'd know by now, but that's what I get for, hey, ad-libbing. Also, please check out some merch down below in the description for some mugs and t-shirts and hoodies, or you can check out the That Chapter Patreon where there's some nice little bonuses. But until the next little video, which will be in like a couple of days, take care of yourselves. Because I love you. Mike out.
He has like the most fire back road country family. Don't bring your ass here, boy. Music, dog.
I love you. Mike out.
I just want to put on the top hat and say, see your partner. Turn around and walk out of a bar. Thought this was America.